It's a blazing circuit out there, and today's episode has it all: speed, strategy, and the unpredictable world of F1. Hang on to your seats as we discuss how Button crowns Verstappen, and Perez's inconsistency bites hard and is one race recap you don't want to miss. But before diving in, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our F1 updates. Let's kick things off with the key highlights from the last race. Remember when we said expect the unexpected? Well, the F1 gods certainly lived up to that mantra. The weekend was a thrilling cocktail of speed, strategy, and more than a hint of controversy. Red Bull's Max Verstappen came out on top, and well, let's just say Button wasn't shy in showering his praises. But what about Perez? His performance has been, in a word, inconsistent. We've seen Perez at his best, we know what he's capable of. The question is, why hasn't he been delivering? The inconsistency in his performances raised some questions. But before we get to that, let's talk about Verstappen. In his fiery Red Bull car, the Dutch driver has been spectacular throughout the season. Button, the experienced and respected voice in the F1 community, didn't hesitate to crown him king after his dominant performance. But why was this praise so significant? And what does this mean for the rest of the season? Verstappen's performance was nothing short of majestic. His control, understanding of the car, and ability to capitalize on opportunities have been breathtaking. Button, a former world champion, knows a thing or two about top-level racing. His words aren't just empty praise, they carry weight. So when Button says Verstappen is the man to beat, the F1 world listens. Yet with every king comes his challenger. Who might that be? That brings us to Perez. He is a talent no one can deny, yet his season has been inconsistent. In one race he's a podium contender, the next, he's fighting to stay in the top 10. This inconsistency has cost him and his team, Red Bull, valuable points in the Constructors' Championship. Is it the pressure? Is it the car? Or is it something else? We dive deep into these questions. Perez started the season strongly, taking pole position at the Miami Grand Prix and finishing second in the race. However, he has struggled to find consistent form, failing to reach Q3 in the 3 of the last 4 races, and has allowed Verstappen to pull away in the championship, with the Dutchman now leading by 34 points. Button believes that Perez's inconsistency is due to several factors, including his lack of experience at the front of the field. He's a good driver, but he's not used to being in the mix for wins, Button said. When he's not up front, he tends to get a bit lost. Another factor contributing to Perez's struggles is his relationship with Verstappen. The two drivers have had several disagreements in recent races, including a heated exchange at the Monaco Grand Prix, and has led to some speculation that Perez's position at Red Bull is under threat. The problem for Perez is that he is up against one of the greatest drivers of all time, Max Verstappen. Verstappen is in incredible form this year and is the clear favorite to win the title. Perez will need to find a way to improve his consistency if he wants to challenge Verstappen for the championship. One of the reasons for Perez's recent struggles may have been team orders that he has been receiving from Red Bull. In the past, Red Bull has been reluctant to give Perez preferential treatment, as they want to keep both drivers happy. However, with Verstappen now the clear favorite to win the title, Red Bull may be more willing to give Perez team orders to help him secure a podium finish, which could be a problem for Perez, as he may feel he is being treated as a second-class driver. If Perez feels he is not allowed to win, it could affect his motivation and performance. So what do you think of Button's comments? Do you agree with him? Or do you think Perez is doing a good enough job to keep his seat at Red Bull? Let's start by looking at Perez's performance this season. He's had some good results, including a win at the Monaco Grand Prix. However, he's also had some bad results, including a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix crash. Overall, I think Perez has been a bit inconsistent this season. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but also made some costly mistakes. Button's comments about Perez's future at Red Bull are interesting. He said that Perez's position is secure for the remainder of the season, but that he might have to search for a new team next year if his struggles continue. I think Button is right to be concerned about Perez's future. Red Bull is a team that demands results, and Perez hasn't been delivering consistently enough. If he doesn't start performing better, I think he could be replaced next season. Team orders have been a part of Formula One for as long as the sport has existed, but they've become increasingly controversial in recent years as teams have become more and more focused on winning the championship. In the case of the Monaco Grand Prix, Red Bull had a clear decision to make. There are several arguments in favor of Red Bull's decision to give Perez team orders. First, Verstappen is the team's lead driver and is their best chance of winning the championship. Second, Perez was already on a 2-stop strategy, while Verstappen was on a 1-stop strategy, which meant that Verstappen had a better chance of winning the race if he was allowed to pass Perez. However, there are also several arguments against Red Bull's decision. First, it was unfair to Perez, who had been driving well all weekend. Second, it sent a message to other drivers that Red Bull was willing to sacrifice their second driver to win. Third, it could have led to a backlash from fans who might have felt that Perez was being treated unfairly. So, was Red Bull right to give Perez team orders? Ultimately, it's a matter of opinion, but there are strong arguments to be made on both sides of the issue. Perez has a lot of experience in Formula One, having raced for several different teams and has won races and podiums, and even came close to winning the championship in 2022. Moreover, he is a very consistent driver who rarely makes mistakes. Perez has never been able to consistently challenge for race wins or the championship, and has been criticized for his lack of pace in qualifying. Furthermore, he has been accused of being a pay driver only in Formula One, because he brings money to his team. So what does the future hold for Sergio Perez? Will he be able to turn his season around and challenge Verstappen for the championship? Or will he be forced to settle for a supporting role at Red Bull? We'll have to wait and see. Well, there are a few different possibilities. One possibility is that Perez could stay at Red Bull for the 2023 season. He's been performing well, and he is a valuable asset to the team. Plus, he's a popular driver with the fans. What do you think? Do you think Perez will stay at Red Bull for 2023? Another possibility is that Perez could move to another team. A few teams could be interested in him, such as McLaren or Aston Martin. Perez would be a good fit for either of those teams, and he would help them to improve their performance. Finally, it's also possible that Perez could retire from Formula One at the end of the 2022 season. He's 32 years old, and he's been racing in Formula One for a long time. Moreover, he might be ready to move on to other things. If Perez stays at Red Bull, he'll be looking to build on his success from 2021. He'll be hoping to challenge for the Drivers' Championship, and he'll also be hoping to help Red Bull win the Constructors' Championship. Perez has a good relationship with his team, and is a good fit for the team's culture. He's also a good team player, and always willing to help out his teammate Max Verstappen. McLaren is a team on the rise, and they could be a good fit for Perez. Aston Martin is a struggling team, but they have a lot of potential. If Perez retires from Formula One, he'll have a lot of options and could stay in the racing world. Or he could move on to other things and become a commentator, a coach, or even a politician. Perez is a smart and talented guy, hence he will be able to find something passionate about. He'll also be able to use his experience in Formula One to help him in his next career. Before we hit the brakes, we have a burning question for you. If you were Perez, what would be your strategy for the next race? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button because in our next video, we'll be looking into what might be the biggest game changer in the F1 world. It's a secret for now, but let's just say it might turn the tables upside down. Stay tuned, stay speedy, and keep your passion for racing alive.